Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is your boy, the coach from the WWE. I would like to welcome you to the very first wrestling podcast in the world to take you on a weekly deep dive into classic matches along with legends of the squared circle. Enjoy the discussion. Enjoy the back and forth. There's so much to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Payoff.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Payoff. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. We're talking RADICALZ.
Talking DX,
right?
Yeah.
DX, RADICALZ. I mean, this is gonna be a fun match, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is again with just going back through some of the old Raws to kind of see what was out there and what wasn't. This was one that it's like, you know, we've said in the past that's kind of flying under the radar. I won't even say this one flew under the radar. It, you know, maybe a little bit, but also like you just look at all the names in this one and you're like, holy cow! Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what we got. And so, and on just like the main event, it makes sense as the main event of a Monday Night Raw to have this huge giant 10-man tag match. But at the same time, like you've got the post WCW storyline, you've got DX and kind of what they're doing. Like it's just all this kind of crazy stuff. So I'm just, you know, I do not expect a 5-star match, but I do expect a fun, fast match.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Fun fact, I was at the Raw before this.
Oh, cool.
The week before where they debuted.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's get into the build.
Oh, it's time for the build.
All right. So we are February 7th, 2000, 26 years ago. Reunion Arena in Dallas. We're going to start off with the New Age Outlaws retaining their tag team championships against Christian and Edge, which is fun. Kurt Angle defeats Mark Henry by DQ in 2 minutes. Crash and Hardcore Holly defeat the Acolytes in a hardcore tag team match in 2 minutes. Chris Jericho retains his IC title by DQ against Viscera in 3 minutes. Jacqueline defeats Luna to retain her women's championship in 1 minute. The Dudley Boys defeat D'Lo and the Godfather in 2 minutes, and then we get to our main event. So 6-2-2-3-1-2. I know things are a little different on TV, but you kind of have to suspend reality a little bit when, okay, if these wrestlers wrestle on Raw, it's going to be 90 seconds, and if they wrestle on a pay-per-view, it's going to be 12 minutes.
Yep.
All right, and then our main event. So the match we're covering is Benoit, Malenko, Saturn, known as the RADICALZ. They're accompanied by Eddie Guerrero because he broke his arm the week before doing the frog splash. They're also going to team with DX, which is Triple H and X-Pac at this time. And they're going to go up against Cactus Jack, Rikishi, The Rock, and Too Cool in a 10-man tag match. So talk about just throwing everything at the kitchen sink. Why not, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I know this is a quick build, but how do we get here?
Yeah, so this one, kind of a lot of moving pieces in this one. And so we are, like I said, this match taking place was February 2000. You really had at this point that Triple H was the top heel champ. DX, like you said, it was Triple H and X-Pac. He was his backup. And then you had the RADICALZ, who had just, like you said, the week prior debuted, them coming over from WCW in January the week before. So they debuted, like you said, that Raw January 31st, 2000, and immediately aligned with the heel Triple H and DX. So you really have him in this kind of stacked heel team. You've got DX, who had the political power. You had the in-ring with the RADICALZ. And so they kind of commentary and how they were selling it was, you know, one of the most dangerous faction the WWE had in a long time. So on the flip side, the babyface side, you had Cactus Jack had been in a long feud with Triple H at this point. So they had the street fight at Royal Rumble, which was about 3 weeks prior to this one. And so Cactus telling him he hadn't survived anything yet, so expect to see the two of them trying to go after each other. You had The Rock, who was kind of in the championship picture at this point. He actually lost the title to Armageddon and then being screwed at the Royal Rumble. So you had him and Triple H, the bigger kind of picture there of what we're heading toward, of course, being that WrestleMania in 2000. And then you had really Too Cool and Rikishi. They were just over. Like, I remember, we talked last week about like what kids are enjoying about the program. We weren't kids when this was, we were, younger, but this was just fun to watch. Like, you were expecting a stink face, you were expecting the worm, you were expecting them to do stuff. And so while they didn't necessarily have the in-ring prowess of some of these other guys, like, they were just super over with the crowd. And so, they had the comedy, but they still were able to do some moves. And so really just you had some of the biggest faces at the time being together on this one. And so, but this match, it was really to showcase the Radicals, their first kind of in-ring. You had to, keep Triple H and The Rock apart, but then also kind of move some of these other storylines forward. So a lot of moving pieces on this one, a lot of players. Like I said, I expect a wild match here, but that's okay. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, some of these like Raw matches this era, I just feel like it's just go, 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 go. It's just going to be chaotic. It'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to start this at the beginning of the clip. I'm ready. Jeff, you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. It's time for the payoff.
Oh, it's time for the payoff.
And there you see them, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting ready. Triple H, DX, the Radicals.
Are you ready?
Man, I don't know why that was cool, but I don't know if you caught that, but like they're in the hallway and like they're just like looking like they're ready to go. It just was like very, very like raw and organic. I thought that was cool. I don't know. I just thought it was like they're getting ready to fight.
We just need more of that. Like, everybody enjoys the way they would do it when they haven't done them as much, but like those long shots from backstage. Like, okay, yeah, like let's walk you from the locker room out to the ring. Like, let's show you everyone that you're ready to go and do this. And so,
well, the one that comes to mind was the Cody one. I don't know if it was before. I'm assuming it was before the WrestleMania where he won the title.
Yeah,
like Arn Anderson and his wife and.
So you got DX, Triple H, and X-Pac coming out to the ring, accompanied by Stephanie, and couldn't see who else that is.
Was that when? Yeah, Tori Wilson was part of them at one point.
It doesn't look like her.
Not Tori Wilson. I'm sorry. What was her name?
The internet will remind us. That's all right. So, of course, the classic DX entrance with the X kind of fireworks behind him, of course. Yep.
I got to look it up. This is going to drive me nuts.
All right. Eddie,
so what did you think of these guys? The Radicals.
I might shock. My favorite wrestler out of the Radicals was Dean Malenko. I remember him using the sharpshooter or the kind of the crab as his kind of submission finisher, and I always thought that was good. I just always thought he was really good out there and really cool to watch. Like, nothing wrong with the other guys, but he was the one that I kind of gravitated towards. And Eddie, of course, too. It's hard, and I feel like Saturn was just kind of on the sidelines for some of this, but that's how it goes. Yeah.
So yeah, her name was Tori. It's just why I thought Tori Wilson. It was just Tori.
Just Tori. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Let's check in on the crowd.
And the Raptors are rattling in reunion. That's big.
Please look at that.
There's certainly a man that's done his hair at ringside, and the match is underway. It's one of those two.
This is nuts.
Tag team matchup.
So only The Rock and Mankind are out there. Too Cool's music hit, but they're not even in the ring yet. The lights are out.
Dude, I mean, look at the crowd. Look at this.
All right, this is your main event of Raw. Yep. We got Rock and Triple H right in front of the camera.
I mean, when's the last time you've seen something this hot like this with all these guys in the ring? I mean, I just can't even think of anything like this.
Right. Rock suplex to Triple H in the ring.
There was the build for like Elimination Chamber, I think, where there were a ton of like top guys in the ring wrestling. But I mean, it's not often you see something like this. This is wild.
They catch a lot of flack nowadays too for like it's overproduced. Like, so I'm interested to kind of watch this to see if it's overproduced. I'm sure it is, but I'm just kind of curious, kind of what we're gonna see though.
Yeah, we'll see. The overproduced thing. I mean, I get it. I just don't know what the fine line is. I mean, you need to look sharp. Okay, Netflix is paying you billions, and ESPN. So that's the problem. Is you say, oh, we want something that's raw and gritty and organic and blah blah blah, and ESPN's going, well, everything we produce is insanely high quality. Okay.
Yep.
You watch the national championship, you watch the Super Bowl, you watch NFL, college football, NBA. It's the highest definition cameras, the best possible lighting. I mean, the NBA looks a lot different, on TV than it looked 30 years ago as well. So I think part of that is they're a television product, and you as a wrestling fan might not like it, but the reason we have the money to pay all these talents is because ESPN wants something that's produced, and that's why they're giving us billions of dollars.
It's, it speaks to the sponsorships. It speaks to like, who's paying for what, like, and kind of, where all the money's coming from, whether it's Saudi or tickets or whatever. I like, as much as people make a big deal out of, the ticket prices right now, I can't see it being 5% of their bottom line, maybe 10%. Like, that's not what their revenue is coming from. And so, yeah, like, and it was that Ari Emanuel said, like, they have been undercharging forever. Which I did not know that Ari Gold. I know you and I.
Oh yeah,
like Ari Gold is based off of Ari Emanuel, which I had no clue about that till the other day.
And the word on the street is it's not all that different.
Really?
Yeah.
So they've calmed this one down a little bit. You've got Rikishi and Dean Malenko pairing that, probably their only match together, I would guess.
Here's the interesting thing about the ticket prices, because I know obviously everyone complains. But in reality, think about how much that actually affects you. I mean, in a given year, you might go to a show. They come to town. SmackDown was here, Raw was here last year. It wasn't that much different. Where it's expensive is the PLEs.
Yeah.
They are expensive. But I mean, how many PLEs are you going to? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most people probably every couple of years you might go to a PLE. It's not like it's super common. I mean, it's not ideal, but here's where I completely buy into the theory of we were just undercharging for all those years. Look at what an NFL game costs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Look at what an NBA game costs, an NHL game costs. And I'm not talking Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. I'm talking your favorite team on a Tuesday night. You know what a Blackhawk game costs on a Tuesday night? It's insane.
Yeah.
Good hockey tickets are what, $250? For a regular game? So it's gonna cost you $150 for a good seat at Raw. I mean, like it, don't like it, whatever. But I mean, it's no different than other sports.
I know I'm kind of looking at it right now.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper than Taylor Swift.
Boy, yeah, for 20 grand or whatever it was. Yeah, just wild. I'm looking. So I'm curious. And so like the Indiana Pacers, who are the worst team in basketball right now, kind of my hometown market, I'm just kind of looking at the C-man. This is a Monday night game to sit kind of in. They have 3 bowls. To sit in the lowest bowl, it's still $100 a ticket.
Okay, and this is a lousy team.
Yep.
When it's 15 degrees outside.
Yep.
Who are they playing?
The Celtics.
Okay. Good team. Not like some major rival or anything. Not a team that's close enough that they could drive and bring fans. Okay. And remember, you have 41 regular season games in the same arena, in the same city every year, plus preseason games and maybe playoff games.
And this is, you could sit, this is the top bowl, row, here you go. Top bowl, row 20 is $10. And I don't know if that, it looks like 22 is as many rows as you can get. So you could sit way up there and not see shit, but what's the point?
I would agree.
But to your bigger point here,
I also subscribe to the theory of what's the point of going if you don't have a decent seat.
Right.
And I mean, I love it. I love on WrestleMania seeing someone in the 500 section in the stadium being full. I love it.
Right.
I'm not going to be that person though.
No.
I would rather watch it at home. But I love that people are going and taking families.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I know I've had buddies that's where they sit, is they sit in the absolute like corner of the highest part of the arena, and that's it. Like that's where they want to go. So okay, fine. Like, but yeah, just to the larger point here of like, yeah, with the tickets, like, yeah, it's just wild. Yep.
You think The Rock was over?
Listen to it. You can't hear anything.
It's over. And Triple H, stop the count.
Time is the game.
Every person in this arena is on their feet. They're getting over the pedigree.
I mean, just wild.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wild.
Stephanie sounded out of place on commentary there. I don't know why, but she just didn't sound right to me. Especially when you got King and Jim Ross, yeah.
I mean, how over was Too Cool?
Oh, I'm gonna have to find another one of their match or something, because like I remember them being over, but not like this. Like this is wild.
The shots are on the face. Uh-oh, here we go.
Here comes the game.
Well, also remember, Stephanie was probably 25 at this point.
Yeah, good point.
Which is pretty wild to think about, huh?
Like we talked a couple weeks ago about like the retirement and how old some of these wrestlers are. Like we forget like how old they are, but then like we're aging too, and so but we forget just like how many of these guys are getting up there, or when we started watching they might have been in their 20s, but they're not anymore.
Agreed. I mean, everyone's still standing up. As we sit here today, does it seem like it's any closer to being true what Tony Khan said about AEW closing the gap? Is there any evidence to suggest AEW has closed the gap?
No.
I mean, I think they're ice cold. I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Nor do I care. But I mean,
right.
And that's fine if you watch it. I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm just it seems to be ice cold.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wonder when some of those contracts are going to come up too. It's funny. I think it was last week we were talking about the ages of a lot of these wrestlers. Might have been 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. The ages, of the Codys and the Punks and the Sheamuses and the Shinsuke's and the Brocks. I think that a guy like MJF could make a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
if he plays his cards right.
So I'm looking at a AEW ticket, like a StubHub, and this is the Arizona Financial Theater. Are you familiar with this one out by you, or where are we at here in Phoenix? They are hosting a double taping of Dynamite and Collision. With again like a typical theater, like with a stage, and they're putting the ring kind of where the orchestra pit would be. And if this has 3 kind of tiers, 1, 2, 3, they currently are not selling any seats in tier 3. So you could sit tier 2 for $79. Or you could sit on the edges for $50. But yeah, not great.
Interesting.
It's such a small venue. They don't even have like what your seat is going to look like from where you're sitting.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'm curious. So you talk about the hot and cold. So capacity is about 5,000 guests, but you figure the main theater about 4,900, but you cut that by a third, and you're only looking at about 3,500. So you're probably looking at about 3,000 after you add a ring to it. And so maybe somewhere between 25 and 3,000 versus WWE every week in a stadium, or excuse me, in an arena. Like, just not, you can't even put them in the same breath.
Oh God, I keep watching that headbutt now. Yeah. There you go.
They sure did.
I can't believe that.
Look at Triple H taking it to Cactus on the other side of the ring.
Triple H and Cactus going at it. They're knowing at each other. It is damn sure not over. There's going to be no way out.
Triple H!
Inside the Hell in a Cell, I can tell you that. This is a low. This is.
All right. Pretty good match, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, more
Just
guys
wild.
from DX coming down here, and New Age Outlaws in the ring. And which Hell in the Cell was that? Was that the one where the 6 guys were in it?
I will double check.
No, because I feel like Rikishi was a heel then. I wonder what Hell in the Cell they're talking about. Uh-oh.
What the hell is that?
Lights out.
JR, what did you do?
I didn't do anything, Stephanie. I promise. Who was that?
Wow.
Oh my God, Tori, come here! Tori, come here!
Get down! Kane is back! The big red machine is here!
Oh God. I mean, there's like 20 guys in the ring at this point.
And just laying
what,
everybody
Kane's just
out.
going to kill them all?
Yep.
Kane wants anybody!
Oh, he's going after the heels.
The big red machine!
All right, just pure insanity. All right, let's get to the aftermath.
Ho! It's time for the aftermath.
What'd you think?
just wild, just all
Wild.
kinds of crazy stuff. Like, yeah.
Absolutely wild. It was a fun one though. I liked it. I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So on this one though, pause this myself. Okay. Yeah. So this, a little bit with this one too. We will cover kind of why Kane came out and kind of what happened with part of that, but we'll start with Triple H on this one. He had the numbers to stay protective. Of course, this then shifts the full focus to The Rock and WrestleMania and having that. Like, that was the kind of the centerpiece of feud of what was happening. But it also kind of, solidified him as someone who wasn't going to fight fair. Cactus Jap on the flip side kind of reinforced he wasn't done with Triple H, and so they had a No Way Out match and a Hell in a Cell match as well. Or there was a Hell in a Cell match a couple weeks after this one, 3-1. And so, but that was again him kind of just being the crazy person as well. The Rock, People's Champ, we saw the reaction. Like, there's nothing more. And then of course the WrestleMania 2000 main event. But then looking at the flip side of this, the Radicals, you had them, kind of showing what they could do. Everybody knew from WCW, but, we were able to kind of see Benoit go for singles gold. We had Malenko and Saturn for the Intercontinental and European title scene. So all kinds of things there. And Too Cool and Rikishi, like, they were just Too Cool and Rikishi. What more do you need there? But a big part of this storyline and why Kane came out after was Kane had actually been written off in late 1999 after an injury angle, but also for him to actually heal up a little bit. And a big part of that was X-Pac betraying him. Kane was a big part of the storyline. And so this was actually Kane coming back as the babyface. And so when X-Pac was the heel. And so he was more aggressive at this point. Coming out with Paul Bearer immediately gives him that credit, and so especially Paul Bearer in the red versus the black. Like, we just kind of seeing how that played out. So, really, after this Raw, we are, I say, on the road to No Way Out, but then also on the road to WrestleMania 2000 as well too.
Well, and this was a good segue into next week because we're talking about Kane and X-Pac.
Yeah, so next week, again, this is the one where we're going to cover that No Way Out match, actually. I thought it was a good little transition here for us to just talk a little bit about, hey, like, what, there's more to this story. And, of course, like, haven't covered many X-Pac 1, 2, 3 Kid matches, haven't covered many Kane matches, but we'll get into that next week. But just a short, not even 8-minute match between the two of them, but we will definitely check that one out. But overall, so kind of going through the PWI, Cactus Jack wasn't rated, Grandmaster Sexay 79, Rikishi 27, Scotty Too Hotty 33, The Rock 2, Benoit 3, Malenko 48, Triple H numero uno, Perry Saturn 63, and X-Pac 65. So you're all over the board here. Nobody more than 80 or 80 though. So some, you've got that, and then also guys at the very top of the list on this one. So the Observer newsletter actually gave this one a nice little write-up. They opened with a more than 20-minute segment with the Radicals and Cactus out. Triple H and Stephanie came out as well. Eventually, they all turned on Foley since Triple H had secretly signed them to a contract. That was at the start of the show. Next, Main was the best match on Raw in a long time, with Triple H and X-Pac and the Radicals over Too Cool and Rikishi and Cactus and Rock. 10-14, a genuine 4 1/4 match with the best heat on any Raw match in more than a year.
Yeah, I believe that.
Right. So 4.5, quite the living up there with some of the Okada and Omega matches at 4 1/4. What are you going to put this 10-man tag team matchup at?
7.5, dude. I really liked it. Might even be a little bit low, but it's a little rushed. There was no build to it. It was just throwing these guys together. But 7.5, man. Crowd was hot as hell. Really, really fun. Super fast paced. Never let down. Made sense. I loved it. What about you?
Yeah, I think that this is just one of those that, like, a 7, like, it was just wild enough to be really good. Just kind of crazy, like, all kinds of really good stuff. You got to see everybody you wanted to. If I had gone to this show and this was the main event, I would have definitely left happy. Like, this was really good. And nothing to complain about at all. Yep.
Good. All right, I'm
But
happy.
we spoiled next week already, but yeah, let's send him home anyways.
We did. X-Pac, Kane next week. Looking forward to that one. I don't know what comes after that, but I'm sure you have a great slate for us planned. And before you know it, it'll be WrestleMania season. I don't know which WrestleMania matches we haven't covered yet, but I'm sure there's some good ones out there.
So, so everybody at home knows, like, I don't tell, unless it's the week of us recording, I don't tell him what matches we're covering necessarily. And so I have to give him a little bit of prep time to make sure that he knows what's coming up. But giving a little bit of spoiler here, why not? You know, we've got Kane and X-Pac coming up. I see Madison Square Garden house show, actually. Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper taking on Ric Flair and Sid Justice.
Sign me up for that. I love
that one. Got to cover your boy here. I added him to the list here. Kurt Angle taking on Marty Jannetty in an 18-minute banger from SmackDown. And so going back to these guys in their WCW days, Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, 1997. I see that one. And at that point, we are into WrestleMania. So I see, what do we've got here? WrestleMania 19. I see Austin and The Rock on here. I see couple weeks of actually WrestleMania 28 and covering those a little bit. And then also I see it on the list here, WrestleMania 23, your boy taking on You Cannot See Me, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels for the championship. And so, we got all kinds of good stuff on the list here.
Good, man. Pumped. Be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate everyone listening. We'll see you next week on an all-new episode of The Payoff.